Hi, everybody. I am Colleen Younger, your PVA from Jefferson County, obviously largest property jurisdiction in Kentucky. And we're glad to be here tonight. And we're really glad you're here. Really appreciate that you're taking time out of your busy schedules to come out and learn about this You Have a Right to Appeal program that we offer that we feel is very important for you to know about. And we're going to go through a PowerPoint here that, as Evan said, lasts about a half an hour, and we'll answer all your questions afterwards. And we'll stay here until every question is answered. So let's get started. Why we're here today. We're here to demystify the PVA and certainly the process of how to appeal your property value. And we're here because offering fair or achieving fair and equitable property assessments across our communities is really our core value at the PVA. We're here to help you better navigate the impacts of your changing property values and to inform you, educate you, and encourage you about the appeal process. The basic role of the PVA, I am obviously, I'm a ballot elected public official. And our statutory requirements are to assess all property at 100% through a detailed review of properties for revaluation in a reassessment area, which there is their map for this year, areas 8 and 9. And we do that revaluation over a 4-year rolling cycle. So this is your year. You have not been reassessed since 2022. And so the 4 years window has expired and you're up on the schedule this year. As most of us do know, assessments form the basis for taxes levied by states, cities, and other taxing authorities, other taxing jurisdictions, public schools, fire departments, and other essential community services. Why we are doing this You Have a Right to Appeal outreach program? Because the real estate market in recent years has been pretty fast. And even when it's slowed down with higher mortgage rates, people continued to pay higher prices for properties, driving up those median values, affecting your personal property value. And it often means that a community is improving and your equity as an owner is increasing, but also potential increases in property taxes can create challenges. And a lot of our population is on fixed incomes. And so we know that, higher property values certainly translate to a higher tax bill in the fall. The real estate market has changed rapidly, as I said, in the last several years. And we at the PVA do our best to get assessed values correct. But we don't always know every detail about your home. And we don't want to know we don't want to get inside. We don't go inside your home, and nor do we want to. But we want to partner with you so that you can educate us about your home, whether your basement's remodeled or your outdated kitchen is functionally obsolete, or your bathroom hasn't been remodeled. We want to know those things so that we can help get to the right property value for your home. April the 24th is a magic date this year. Reassessment notices will be mailed. It'll be a big 5x8 color postcard. At noon that day, our website, jeffersonpva.ky.gov, which has the online appeal tool, will be open for appeal. So you can get your new value on that website, and you can also do your appeal on the website, which is what about 95% of the people that appeal do, because it's very easy, user-friendly. However, if you choose not to do the appeal online yourself. First of all, I want you to know that if you believe that the assessment that you get this year is not correct, that we have not gotten it correct, please appeal your property. And we're going to give you multiple ways to do that because we want to make it accessible, convenient, and easy for you to appeal your property. It's an essential part of providing that fair and equitable property assessment, which is our statutory directive. So, how is my residential property assessed? Residential values are based on recent fair arm's length sales. And what that is a willing buyer, a willing seller with a home advertised for sale on the open market. It's not a foreclosure, short sale, nothing adverse like that. It's a fair arm's length transaction. So we use the sales comparison approach. What is going on in your little neighborhood? What is going on around you in your microcosm? What are houses selling for? And the houses that are selling, are they the same floor plan as your home? And if they are, and they're selling at higher prices, then it's going to affect your value. Fair comparisons. So as I said, house types, we use only similar houses compared to similar houses. So in other words, if you live in a ranch, your home is going to be compared to the ranches that's sold in that neighborhood. If you live in a two-story, your home is going to be compared to a two-story. We're not going to compare your home to the, McMansion across the railroad tracks or, down the street or, over in Middletown. We're going to compare it right in your microcosm of a neighborhood. So only similar home types are compared against each other. A few years ago, we created what is called the renovated house type because there was a lot of renovating going on. And people were remodeling and adding on and doing all kinds of things. And so we did not want that to affect those who had not added all of the bells and whistles to their home. And so we created a renovated house type so that we could compare renovated house types to other renovated house types. And then, of course, the unrenovated house that someone lives in would be compared to a home that is unrenovated. So it stratifies the data a little farther, and it really does offer a fair and more equitable property value. Also, our comparisons are within the original platted boundaries. So whatever your neighborhood was platted out as when it was created, we are using those boundaries as for our comparison. Residential property 2026 reassessment, we're doing about 54,500 residential parcels in areas 8 and 9. And that includes single-family homes, duplexes, condos, and undeveloped vacant land, vacant lots. So the areas in and around Area 8, Anchorage, of course, Berrytown, Blue Ridge Manor, Douglas Hills, Hurstbourne, Plainview, Linden, Middletown, Norwood, Sycamore, Wildwood, Woodland Hills. Anyone here from those areas? I know there's, okay, great, excellent. You're in the right place. Area 9, Barbermead, Glenview, Graymore, Devondale, Goose Creek, Green Spring, Hills and Dales, Northfield, Norton Commons, Prospect, Rolling Hills, Westwood, and Worthington Hills. So it is a pretty massive, dense area, and it is a relatively large assessment. In Area 8, this year, or back the 18 months that we examine and analyze the sales, we look back to the last half of 2024, and we go forward to January 1 of 2026, because January 1 in the state of Kentucky is the magic date for reassessment of or assessment value. So we have to go in arrears. We have to look back at the sales that occurred before January 1. So there were 1,527, and the lowest sale in that area 8 was 149,870, and that's in this area. And the highest in this area was 2.85 million. And then the median value for the area is 475,000. That doesn't mean your home is going to be valued at 475,000. That just means that was the median value. Area 9, we had 1,459 sales in our sales comparison sample. On the low side, we had 131,000, and the high was 3.67, so pretty high. And the median over there was 463,990. Here's our new and improved assessment notice. On the front, it will have your photograph of your property. If your property is not the photograph on the front, call us right away. Please call us right away and let us know. And then on the to the right of your photograph, it will have your property address. Make sure all that information is correct. You have a unique parcel ID number that is unique to your property. It will have your assessed value, and then it will have the homestead exemption amount if you receive the homestead exemption. How many people in here receive it? Good. How many people in here are 65 and don't receive it? Okay, good. So make sure that is your photo and your correct information. That little QR code down there, you can hold your phone over it and it will bring up your characteristics on your property. So it's kind of a cool little technology thing. On the back of the postcard is all of the information about this You Have a Right to Appeal program. So it tells you that the online the conference with the PVA is the first step toward your property appeal. It's the first thing. And you can do it by online. If you wish to appeal, use the online self-service tool at our website, jeffersonpva.ky.gov/conference. We will also be at the Northeast Regional Library right down the street at Hurstburn Lane and over at Middletown City Hall, opening day, which is Friday, April 24th, from noon to 4. Then the following Monday, we'll be there every Monday through Friday, all week, every day. From April the 27th through May 18th, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So April 27th through May 18th, 9 to 4. You can go over to those two locations, Northeast Library and Middletown City Hall. We'll have PVA staffers there waiting for you to come in with your documentation, and they will assist you and walk you through your personal property, your property appeal. We're offering some evening hours as well. Middletown City Hall will have PVA staff on hand 5 to 7 on May the 7th, and Linden City Hall on May 13th, again 5 to 7, in case you work and you can't get by there during the day and you don't have access to computer or don't want to do it online. You can come over to Middletown or Linden. You can go to the PVA office, which our office is located downtown, 815 West Market Street. We're in the Glassworks building where they blow the glass downstairs, the art gallery. And we're on the 4th floor. So you can come there every day, weekdays, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We'll be there 2 Saturdays, Saturday, May 9th, Saturday, May the 16th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. for your convenience. Also, assistance by telephone. We offer this to folks who have a disability who may not have home technology, who may not be tech savvy to be able to get through the online conference themselves. You can choose to do a telephone conference. And this is reserved for folks who really, really need it. We can't do everyone's appeal by telephone. So if you're going to schedule a telephone conference, we're asking that it's because you have a disability or that you do not have the technology or, cannot get transportation to one of the libraries or the city hall location. And that number to call for an appointment is 502-574-6224. And what you will do is call that number, and someone will give you, one of our staffers will give you an appointment. Then we'll call you back at that scheduled time and walk you through everything on the telephone. They'll do the appeal for you while you're on the phone with them. Okay, this is your property card. Every property in Jefferson County has one. And so this is what it looks like. Remember, again, assessment values will be posted on our website, jeffersonpva.ky.gov, on April the 24th at noon. Please, I beg of you, do not wait for the mail. Don't do that. You don't have to do that. You can go on our website, look up your property assessment, make the decision. If you want to appeal, you can get prepared to do that. And you don't have to, once you go on the website, you can just look up your property value. And if you decide to go over to Northeast Library or over to Middletown, you can do that. You don't have to follow right through with the appeal. You can just do a property search. So that's your property card. You will, if you choose to do it online, you will be prompted to do a very simple, easy, user-friendly account, to set up an account, no cost to you. Create your account and your password with a user ID. And then, your property card's going to be here. It's got your photograph again, your mailing address if it's the same or if it's different, and then all the characteristics. Then over here to the far left or right of the property card, you see the red arrow. It says View Neighborhood Sales List. The neighborhood sales list are all of the sales in your area that we have posted, that we have used to derive your property value. So you can look at the sales that we used from your area to get to your valuation. And then online conference tool, again, available April 24th at noon. Don't forget that. At noon, jeffersonpva.ky.gov. You can go on there, search for your assessment number for your value. If you decide to appeal, you can either proceed online, you can go to the library at noon that day, or go the next week on Monday. You can go to Middletown City Hall, or any of those other options that I gave you earlier. All of this information is also available on our website. So for some reason you get mixed up a little bit and you don't know what to do, it's all on there. Available on our online conference tool will be available. It's available 24/7. If you're a night owl and you're up at 2 a.m., you can get on our website and file your appeal. Available April 24th at noon to May 18th. That is the last day for appeal, May the 18th at 4 p.m. I would encourage you not to wait to the last day to go ahead and get it done if you decide to appeal. Appeal submissions have to be completed during this time. 4 p.m., that site closes and there's no looking back. So please make sure that you are prepared to file your appeal within that legitimate window of time. Department of Revenue granted our request. The statutory window of time to appeal your property is only 13 days. and it's right around Derby time. I don't know why the law is like that, but we went and got special permission, and we expanded the statutory window to from 13 days to 23 days, so that we could have a more time to offer you to appeal your value and be accessible a longer period of time. Online self-service, as I said previously, 95% of our appeals submitted using online self-service at our website, jeffersonpva.ky.gov, open 24/7. And it's very, very easy to file an appeal on your phone, on your tablet, your iPad, your iPhone. Very easy on mobile. Online conference, in-person assistance, I'll go over this again. Weekdays in the community. Opening day, Friday, April 24th, will be at Northeast Library in Middletown City Hall from noon to 4. The next Monday, April the 27th, throughout the appeal period, Monday through Friday, to close a business on May 18th, will be at Northeast and Middletown City Hall, Monday through Friday, 9 to 4. Those evening assistance hours, Middletown, Thursday, May 7th, 5 to 7. Linden City Hall, May 13th, 5 to 7. You're always welcome to come to our office. We love visitors. We're at 815 West Market, 4th floor. Weekdays, April 24th through May 18th, 8 to 4 every day. 2 Saturdays, if you want to do a Saturday, come downtown. May 9th and 16th, 9 to 1 in our office. Again, the telephone assistance line is reserved for those who do not have technology, who may not have transportation, and who are disabled. So we ask that you respect that, and you can, if you qualify for that, you can certainly call 502-574-6224 and schedule your appointed appeal time. Telephone conferences with PVA staff, I just said all that. Technology limited to mobility or quarantine status, an issue for you. That's your telephone line for you. And beginning April the 24th, you can call that 574-6224 number to schedule a teleconference if you qualify as a disability or no technology or no transportation. If you decide to have an appraiser or a real estate agent, or you pay someone compensation to appeal for you, first of all, I encourage you not to do that because it's not necessary, and you can be successful. If you have a valid case, you're going to be successful. All you have to do is document it, and you're going to be successful. You do not have to pay anyone to do the appeal for you. However, if you decide to do that, we need a letter of authorization from you, the property owner, authorizing your person to file the appeal on your behalf. And here are the documentation appeal tips. So you can see that PVA online conference and appeals, the big arrow there, and then over here the arrow to online conference documentation and appeal resources. We like photographs because photographs tell us the story. And as I said earlier, we don't go inside your home, nor do we want to. So if you have water in your basement, structural issues, siding or brick, siding falling off, brick that needs tuck pointing, roofing shingles missing, outdated bathrooms, outdated kitchens, older windows, anything in your home that we refer to as being functionally obsolescent. That means it's out of date and it's not modernized, or doesn't have all the bells and whistles in it. Document it. You have the older kitchen cabinets, you have, anything like that, anything. And, your exterior, if you have, really bad concrete that's cracked and broken and anything like that, that is a defect or a deferred maintenance issue, please document that by photograph. And if you do that, you will be successful. If you document everything that is wrong with your home, everybody needs something to be fixed. And let me say this. I was just thinking about what I needed to have fixed. If you have something that you think is what could be considered a code violation, we're not going to tell on you. We're not rest assured, we're not going to give that information to the city. We're not going to share that information. What documentation and evidence you give to us to prove your opinion of value of your home is safe. We're going to keep it in our shop. It's confidential. That is our rule. We are bound by that rule, that confidentiality. So even if you do have a code violation, we're not going to turn that in. So I want you to trust that and know that you're in safe hands, that we really truly are trying to get to the most accurate value of your property. It benefits us and it benefits you. So photos should be close up, zoomed out, showing property issues or condition of your property. A professional estimate is also acceptable. If you know someone that is not a handyman, everybody knows a handyman, not him. It's somebody or her. It's somebody or them. It's somebody that is a bona fide contractor that has a company, that is a registered licensed contractor that could come into your home, go through your home, and develop a punch list of everything that needs to be corrected and price it out for you. Just like you would do if you were doing a remodel project or something like that. They'll price it out for you, and then, or what it would cost to fix it, correct it. And then you use that as your documentation, but it has to be a bona fide contractor, estimates for needed repairs. Now, this is not, you can't bring me a $25,000 bathroom remodel, because we all know that, it doesn't cost $25,000 to have a standard bathroom remodel. But if you have some needs to update in your bathroom, new commode, new bathtub, leaking bathtub, shower, putting a shower in, those kind of things, yes, they are acceptable. And anything that is considered to be needed to be corrected. Insurance policy. We accept your insurance policy. But if you look at your insurance policy, you'll notice that your land value is not included. Your land is not on there. You're only insured for the improvement, the building. So you'll have to, if you choose an insurance policy to use as your documentation, you'll have to call us to get your land value, because we don't put those on our website. That's not a requirement, but we do have them. An appraisal. Maybe you bought your home 2 years ago and you have an appraisal from 2 years ago. Maybe you bought it last year. You have an appraisal from last year. An appraisal is acceptable. It cannot go back beyond 2 years, though. It has to be 2 years or more current. Sales comparison worksheet. That is a worksheet that's on our website that you can download if you decide to use sales in the area to compare to your property. I wouldn't do that. I used to be a real estate agent, but we already know the sales. We've already captured the sales. That's what we have used to derive your value. So to me, this is just my personal opinion. Lots of people use the sales comparison approach. My personal opinion is I would prefer to use like photographs, and use something that I know is really true to my home, because we've already gotten those sales. Those sales are listed on that neighborhood sales list. So just keep that in mind. Okay, here's the big orange button when you're online. If you're going to choose to do it online, start the online conference. Just click on that big orange button. It's going to take you over here to the next screen, and you'll put an address search in there for your property. You don't even have to spell it all the way out. Put your number in and a few letters from your street or road or drive, and it will populate it. And let's see, April 24th at noon. Don't forget, don't wait for the mail. Please don't wait for the mail. I mean, we hear these horror stories about people getting their Christmas cards in March. So please do not wait for the mail. I want you to be able to make it within the legitimate time, because once that May 18th date comes and goes, it's over until the next year. Now, you can appeal your property every year. You don't have to be under reassessment. The other thing is if you appeal your property and just say that, we have you assessed at 250,000, and you say, no, my home is only worth 200. It is incumbent on you, the property owner, to prove that 50,000 is too much, that 250, that it needs to be reduced. So if you say it's worth 200, you have to prove that. And you're going to prove that through documenting all the things that need to be fixed. That is the first step of the appeal, the conferencing with us. And you may come to us and you may get some relief. We may say, well, we're not going to reduce it 50, but we'll reduce it 40. And you'll say, I don't like that. It's not worth that. Still not worth it. And you can go to the next level. Even though you had some success with us, you can still choose to go to the second step, which is to appeal to the local board of tax appeal, which opens after we close our appeal season. They open in July, first week of July usually, and you can go to them. And that's a board of real estate agents and appraisers appointed by the mayor. Take your case a little farther, and you can maybe win with them. If you don't win with them or you don't get satisfaction, you can still go up to the third level, which is to go to the Kentucky Board of Tax Appeal, which is a governor's board of appointed tax appeal. And if you don't have satisfaction there, go to circuit court. We want you to be successful if you believe that we have not gotten it correct. And it does not benefit us to have incorrect values on our tax roll. We don't want that. We want to have very fair and equitable and accurate values for property. So help us out, work with us, and we'll work with you. And if you have a desire to appeal, make sure you look April 24th at that website, look at that property value, make your decision then, and then you have all those options of places you can go. Or you might just stay home and appeal it at 2 a.m. Homestead exemption. As I asked earlier, homestead exemption becomes available when you're 65. If you're coming up on being 65 this year, but maybe you don't even turn 65 until December, you're still eligible for this year. So go ahead and apply for the homestead exemption. We have a nice, easy, user-friendly exemption portal on our website, jeffersonpva.ky.gov. You can go right on there, fill it out online, upload your driver's license in there, and you're done. Boom! You get the between $500 and $600 discount on your tax bill. So there's one exemption per household. This year it's $49,100. You must own and occupy the primary residence as of January 1, and it's easy to apply on that online portals tab. So we're done, and I'm out of breath. So let's open it up for questions.
All right, just a reminder, I'll come to you with the microphone so that folks at home can hear your questions and learn from that as well. Just a reminder to those folks joining us from home, use that question and answer box to type your questions, and we'll get answers for you on there. So who's got a question?
I just wanted to say on behalf of you starting it, another friend of mine told me, because I came, I think it was 4 years ago when you all did this again in my zip code. And another friend told me they appeal every year. They said, just do it. Now I have no technology. And at that time at the library, like I could take pictures, but I don't know how to do all that where they go on something and they helped with the cords and the cables at the library. Are you all going to do that again?
Well,
We can we'll get them if you come to the library with
Yeah.
your phone, with them on your phone,
Okay.
we'll get it for you. Or Middletown City Hall. And I believe right
she
here,
could email them to us.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
we
Okay. Okay. You
just
don't do anything.
come see us in person.
Just-
You've got
yeah, we'll
in
help.
here, everybody should have the little flyer with all the locations and times for assistance.
It's going at noon, April the 24th at noon, from noon to 4 that day at the library or at Middletown City Hall or those other options, our office. And then it runs, and then April the 27th through May the 18th, Monday through Friday.
Say just for the gentlemen or ladies, they did, this other friend told me, they said, just take pictures. I mean, my home is not updated.
Right.
And that's what I did. And they will lower it. They
Yeah,
did.
we
And that's the
will.
honest truth.
That's why we're
They did.
here.
So because this other friend said, just try it. It's not going to hurt you any.
This is why we do this program.
And then, so if we do the appeal process, you go to the website, you start an appeal process and you can upload the photos and everything on your all's website from your phone, correct?
It's so easy,
Okay.
really. It is so easy.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, you can even do the appeal from your phone. It is really that easy. If you have an iPhone,
I do.
very easy. Yes, sir. Oh, okay. We got somebody back
I
here.
got one question.
Okay. Hi.
Homestead exemption.
Yes, sir.
If you already have that or had it in the past, is that automatically applied to the new appraisal?
Did you move?
No.
Okay. Yes, sir. It is. If
Cool.
you applied for it, say if you've had it, 5 years, it's going to continue. It stays on your property forever as long as you own it, live in it. The only time it changes is if you move, you have to reapply for the new property.
Headed your way.
I would just like to know, the homestead exemption, how does that affect us if we sell our house, or does it?
Well, you have the homestead exemption on your property. If you move and you purchase another property, you want to transfer that exemption to go with you to apply to the other property. Because when you move, we take that off of that particular property. But we need you to fill out another application, transfer your homestead exemption to the new property. And let me talk about the homestead exemption a little bit, because this is another thing that we have been trying to be very proactive about pushing, the legislature about doing something. Because when the homestead was first created back in the 70s, it amounted to about a 25% discount. It was well worth it, pretty good, substantial discount on your property value. Over the years, as the median values went up, the homestead exemption did not keep up with it. And here's why. Because when the legislature created it, they tied the homestead to the consumer price index instead of the housing index. The housing index measures housing sales. The consumer price index measures rent. Totally stupid. I'm sorry, stupid. So, I mean, that is something that we want them to correct and change that statute to tie the homestead to the housing index, so that when housing prices go up, so does the homestead go up. So in recent years, we measured it and it had dropped down to like below a 14% discount from 25. It dropped, all those points, 11 points over a few years. And so we're going to work on that. We're going to try to find a way to see if that legislature will, and it wasn't the current legislature that did that. It was one that was in office years and years and years ago. But yeah, it needs to be changed. The statute needs to tie the homestead exemption amount to the housing index and take it off of the CPI.
Does it affect the price of our house if we want to sell it?
No, no. It's a personal discount to you
You would
for
say a younger
for turning. It's the only benefit to getting old.
basically.
You
Couple buys it and then finds out the taxes are going to be higher for them. It's their problem, not mine.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. They have to earn that homestead exemption like we did. The day I turned 65, I got off that elevator. I goes, "Where's my application?"
hold on to it.
All right. I got two quick questions. The first is how recent is recent in terms of the comp sales?
They go back 18 months. So they go back to mid 24, mid 24.
18 months prior to January 1st.
Right. That's right. January 1st is the valuation date. So however your home existed on January 1 is what you're being valued on.
Okay.
Okay. Hello.
I'm just curious if photos need to be dated April 24th or, okay. Because if I need to put somebody on a ladder to get some pictures, I could go ahead and be getting those pictures before April 24th.
No, you don't. I mean, as long as it is the current and existing condition of your home. No.
If you have a repair that needs to be done, you talked about that. And for example, a leaky shower needs to be replaced and updated, and you got an estimate of $10,000 to do that. Is that automatically going to be that $10,000 added to the value of your home, the assessed value? Or is it prorated, or how does that work?
How do you all do that, Tom?
So the way it works is that $10,000 is basically what it would take to, have a brand new shower or things to that level. Well, you already have a shower. And so you wouldn't, if you put that in there, you wouldn't expect to get that out of the market. Nobody's going to give you that 10,000. So we have to look at it as what the market would give you. So it might be a $5,000 adjustment instead of a $10,000.
We basically operate on the same type of appraisal principles that licensed appraisers do, except our assessments are mass appraisal. They're not looking at each individual property.
Right.
So that's different.
Okay, thank you.
Hi.
Good question. Thank you for this. This has been very informative. With regard to the assessment shields, you may have said this, I may have overlooked it, but how long does the process take to make a determination if someone files an assessment for?
Well, depending on when you file, if you file early, if you file on the first day, you'll have your conference result back probably within a week or so. I'd say 2 weeks at the latest. But the later we get into, please don't wait until the last minute. Just file it, get it done, get it out of the way.
You had talked about the renovating, comparing renovated home to a renovated home. Is that done through the, when they have to pull permits and all that? Is that how you know?
Yes.
Okay, so I was worried you don't know what's inside of the house.
Louisville Metro sends the permits to us, and we process permits in our office for value.
And our staff reviews the multiple listing service. So when sales happen, we look at it to see the condition it's in.
Isn't there a bill in Frankfurt now about freezing the tax rate for seniors?
It didn't get out. It failed. So, yeah.
Something you might want to talk to your legislators about there. Definitely.
Does anyone else have questions? Yes, ma'am. the real estate agent.
So I just wanted to know, last year we had a crisis in our family, and so I was not able to appeal, the value of rental properties, some of the rental properties that were reevaluated. And I wanted to know if I could I appeal them this year?
You can appeal every year, regardless of whether you are in the reassessment area or not. Thank you for asking that question. I forgot to say it.
How do you get the square footage adjusted on your property? We bought a condominium, and I didn't realize until the last property revaluation that it's listed as having no attic and that everything is living space, which is not correct. There is a big attic with a furnace, with a water heater. The walls are finished, but it has no insulation, no windows, no nothing. You could not use it as living space. It gets ice cold in the winter, extremely hot in the summer. So how do I get that square footage taken off the total square footage?
If you take photographs of that,
And can I measure it? Because
you can measure it, but
and the photographs of the equipment that's in there, that it's definitely not living space.
yeah.
So
Is it non-conforming space where it's got, like
It has
slants
a
or-
slanted.
Yeah.
so I will say, you said you have a condominium. So
Patio.
okay, but it is a condominium. So typically what we utilize square footage wise is when the developer filed what they call an apartment ownership book, they file plans of each one of those units. And we utilize that legal square footage that they applied. So if that square footage is incorrect as far as your finished area, then that's what I would appeal that and say, hey, look, you all have 1,500 square feet, but actually only 1,250 square feet is finished. This 250 square feet in the attic is not finished, and take some pictures of that.
I will do that. Okay.
Okay.
And should I do that at the appeals process?
Yeah.
Or- Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
When you do your assessment, we're in a subdivision. Do you just look at the subdivision, or do you look at neighboring subdivisions as well, which may be very different from the one you live in?
Well, it depends on the number of sales. So if we would certainly expand out of your subdivision to an area around you if in fact there were not enough if there weren't any, maybe there aren't any sales in your subdivision. If that's the case, maybe we have to go across the street.
Is that a magic number?
Pardon?
Is there a magic number to how many sales there are?
Not really.
We utilize as many sales as we can as far as to get the best, estimate of market value. And I will say our house types that we utilize, they're based upon an age range and then also a house style. So we break them down by, let's say, a one story that was built from 1954 to 1969. So if in your situation, if you had a neighborhood that we have no sales, then we're going to try to go to a neighborhood that has similar types of homes, same styles, that's as close to your neighborhood as well, to get the best estimate of what the market value would be.
With the same age.
Yes.
Of the homes. Yeah.
Just to add that when I got my property tax bill for the two buildings, in whatever October, November, I did call the office and I talked with a guy there. I've got his name. I don't remember right now, but he was very helpful, very understanding, explained to me exactly what I need to do for 2026. So I've got that marked in my calendar. I just wanted everybody to know that 25%, I'm not sure everybody in this room was thinking 20 to 25%. Like me, I was thinking 4 or 5%. So thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Hi, I have a couple questions. One is that after you do the appeal and it comes back, what are your options after that to dispute it?
When you submit your appeal, depending on.
Sorry. When you submit your appeal, depending on when you submit it, it could take 2 weeks. It might take 3 weeks. It just depends on number, volume, that kind of thing. You'll get a confirmation back And you'll find out whether you were successful or you weren't successful. And there is other levels of recourse after you appeal with the PVA. That's actually the first step. The second step, if you are not satisfied with the result from the PVA, even if we lower it, if you ask us to lower it 50,000 and we only lower it 25, you still can take the next level of recourse, which is to go to the local board of tax appeal. It's a board of realtors and appraisers that are appointed by the mayor that convenes after we close our appeal window. They open in July, and you can go to that next recourse. But you have to tell us, you have to tell the county clerk you're going to do that right after you receive your results from us. So don't forget to let them know if you want to take it up to the next step. Even if you're somewhat successful, maybe you're not as successful as you think you ought to be. Go to the next level. We encourage you to do that. Then, if you don't get your satisfaction at the local board, the third level of recourse is the Kentucky State Board of Tax Appeal. And you can take it to the Kentucky Board of Tax Appeal. If you're not successful there, the last and final level of recourse is to take it all the way to circuit court. But hopefully you won't have to do that. That's usually done with major corporations and, you know, kind of big box type stores and stuff like that. You should, if you have a valid case and you have substantiated your evidence, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to be successful with us. And like I said, if you're some successful but not quite as successful as you hope to be, continue on. Continue on.
I would add, Colleen, that
Yeah.
the instructions to go to the local board are on our conference results. So when you
Right.
get our results, there's instructions on how to appeal to the conference or to the local board. And then if you decide to go to the local board, when you get their results, and if you're still not satisfied, there's instructions on how to appeal to the Kentucky Board of Tax Appeals.
So when you finish each level of recourse, you have instructions on how to go to the next level, all the way up to circuit court.
And I just want to add that most people are satisfied after the first step. We know statistically most choose not to go on to the local board. So we want you to be, we want to get it right. So help us do that.
I appreciate your time coming to here today to let us know all this stuff. And I think you did a great job explaining how you come about our value and a lot of legwork to do that. But I also see that you spend a lot of time telling about the appeal, that we can appeal. So what percentage of people actually win an appeal?
About 60.
60%. Well, that's great to know.
That's a pretty good percentage.
And I was going to ask the question about taxes, but I see that that's not in your revenue of doing things.
It's not. We have nothing to do with taxes.
Because I know when
But
we
if
got,
you want to ask the question, if we know the answer, we'll
well,
tell
I
you.
know that we did the lottery years ago and that was
Right.
supposed to pay a lot of our school taxes and that would lower it, but I don't see it that it's done any of that. And the second thing is we know that the housing market really went up because they didn't have enough houses. And I know my granddaughter sold a house and made more money than she even asked for it. And everybody was getting 50 and 60,000
Right.
or 100,000 more than what they were asking. And that's wonderful if you're selling.
Right.
You like that.
Yeah.
You like that extra money. That's great.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that makes our market different. But what about if that market deflates? Are you going to come back and say, okay, your neighborhood's not worth 500,000 anymore. It's more like 375 or 385.
We're
Will you
going
ever do
to
that?
follow the sales.
Okay, so when you get ready to do it again, and if the sale goes down, the market goes down, we can anticipate our taxes going down. I don't know if that ever happened.
Not your no, your value, not taxes.
But your value, if it's less, that makes our taxes.
Now, let me just say this. In Kentucky, we have something called a compensating tax rate. And that came out a number of years ago, back in the 90s, House Bill 44. And it was set up to provide, I guess some balance in the tax structure of the market. So what House Bill 44 says is that from year to year, that any taxing jurisdiction, whether it's Jefferson County Public Schools, Louisville Metro, City of Middletown, City of Linden, whatever taxing jurisdiction you are under, that they cannot realize more than 4% of aggregate revenue, not value, revenue. So if they have a tax row that has grown from 4 to 8% from the last year, then they have to compensate that tax rate. They have to either compensate it down, so your tax rate will go down, or they have to have what's called a public recall, which is 2 public meetings where you show up and sign up, and then you vote on whether you want to go with the increased tax rate. But they're not supposed to be able to take that extra revenue without compensate anything over 4% without compensating that tax rate.
So that means if your assessment goes up 20%, your tax bill won't necessarily go up 20% directly to correspond to that.
Oh, no, it doesn't mean that at all. What it means is that usually when values go up, tax rates go down. When values go down, tax rates go up. That's the ebb and flow. By the way, I just want to say that we created this program in 2018, and we were recognized by the National Association of Counties for doing this, because apparently a lot of PVAs don't do that. So I'm not necessarily patting myself on the back. I'm patting all of us on the back, because we were at a meeting one time. This guy said, "Oh, I guess you're from the government and you're going to help us." And I go, "Yeah, I am." Right. Because it's kind of out of the ordinary, but we want to help you. Yes, sir.
And I will say it does work, because I did appeal it several years ago. And that's part of my second question. What happens to those pictures that you take? And I know you made a mention that, if there's a violation, you're not going to turn them in. But man, they're on the web. They're on what happens to them?
Your conference with us is confidential. We don't keep, we keep those pictures in-house. We don't share those pictures with anyone.
But it does work, folks. So I will say that I did get a substantial discount when I did 40 pictures over there. But out of them 40, I probably still have work to do on 20 of them.
That is the essential message. If you don't think you could sell your property for the assessment, we want to hear from you.
Right.
We got one more here. Now, I also want to say we will be sticking around at the end of this. If you're not comfortable standing up in front of the whole room asking questions, we'll be around to answer those questions one-on-one for you.
How do you do the reevaluation on the land versus the building? Because the last time, 4 years ago, when I was reevaluated, the property value, the land property went up over 100%, and the building went down a little bit, but the total went up about 15%. So.
Okay.
Yeah, for the most part, what we try to utilize is we try to get land sales that, may not be in your neighborhood, but hopefully contiguous in your land to your neighborhood. And so we utilize those land sales. If we don't have any land sales, what we'll do is we do a percentage allocation of a land to building ratio of so if we see that the overall sale price is, let's say, 400,000, and a typical land to building ratio is 25%, then we'll put $100,000 on the land. Your total is still 400,000, and you would have $300,000 on the improvement. But the important thing is the fact that you're looking at the total, because that's really the whole, aspect. We could put 0 on the land and it wouldn't matter whatsoever, because the only reason we're required to do the allocation is because the sheriffs require us to do when they put it on the tax bill.
Any other questions in the room here that you'd like to ask up front? Melody, any questions online that we'd like to address for the group here?
Questions online? All right. Okay. Well, listen, we want to thank you guys for coming out tonight. We know everybody's busy. We're all busy. And it's really great to have all of you all here asking such great questions. And if you need any assistance, please go to the Northeast Library or the City of Middletown City Hall, and our people will be on hand to assist you.
And
Thank
again,
you.
we'll be hanging around here for a little while.